The mix.
Welcome to Command HQ. It's Monday, September 18th, 2023. Agent X, you were just telling me about this F-35 crash in South Carolina, as well as some Russell
Dude,
Brand
it's
stuff.
wild.
So
It completely disappeared. They found parts of the wreckage, but they grounded all planes, which is normal. But apparently, the preliminary reports are that the plane went unresponsive, and they think it was a software hack. So, wonder who hacked it, man. Wonder who hacked it. This is wild times we're living in. I mean, we've got 100 and some warplanes in the that went towards Taiwan yesterday or this morning. We've got warships surrounding Taiwan. We have hacks. We have the power grid going down all over the country. Sporadic attacks. And meanwhile, we're focused on Russell Brand, and Lauren Boebert broke up with the dude she gave a handy to. Absolutely wild stuff going on in the world, and we're constantly distracted. Constantly. With nonsense.
yeah, sorry, I'm busy doing like three things right now. So the F-35 thing is really interesting to me, because if that's the case, because I read this article originally, and again, like, this hair on the back of my neck went up, and I thought, this is not the case. Whatever they're telling us through NBC News and CBS is probably not the full story, and it potentially could be a lie, and it was certainly not the full story. And now what we're seeing is, I thought something was odd, because it said that the pilot ejected in the middle of this flight, right? So something must have went wrong, because you never hear of a combat pilot ejecting midair without, some other emergency mechanical issue taking place. So this was obviously some software issue. And if someone,
I think it's quite clear it's a hack, man. These things have been flying for a long time, and suddenly you have one go unresponsive. I mean, I guess it's possible it could be a software issue, but I think most likely it was a hack. And I think China's showing up. Maybe it was Iran. I mean, we just gave Iran, what was it? I had to look it up. We just gave Iran basically a boatload of money to return a bunch of hostages.
It was like it was $3 billion or something.
Yeah, it was supposed to be used for like food and specific things, and they're like, "Nah, we're gonna use it for whatever we want." It's wild, man. The world, and we got Biden. I don't know if you saw that story in the New York Post today, but it like everyone's walking on tiptoes around him in the White House, apparently, because he's scared to death he's gonna die before Hunter Biden's legal issues are done. And apparently they got the heads up that things are going to get much worse for Hunter Biden in the next few months. I mean, we have somebody who's basically asleep at the wheel and not addressing these issues. And meanwhile, you have Trump, who goes on TV and he's like, "I'm going to be tough." Like, these foreign leaders are scared of me. I would solve the Ukrainian issue in 24 hours. Putin tried to pull that stuff with me, but he knew. I told him that I was going to drop a nuke on St. Petersburg. And we have a strong leader that they basically screwed out of office with all the mail-in voting and whatever else whatever else is out there for a guy who is basically a walking corpse. It's weekend at Bernie's with Joe Biden.
Yeah, I hadn't read the story. I hadn't tuned into the New York Post all week, so yeah, I mean, that seems like a reasonable fear that Joe Biden would have. I wonder who leaked the story, by the way. This is almost more interesting to me than the F-35 crashing, because someone hacked it.
Well, Uh, I know we got to do a quick stream tonight because I gotta. The deep state double agent is traveling tomorrow. Um, have some appointments in the morning, but uh, no. One of the things. I've just pulled up an article here. Got distracted. New York City Council advances bid that could yank monuments honoring Washington, Jefferson, and Columbus. Dude, we are living in weird freaking times. Can you ever imagine tearing down a statue of George Washington? George Washington. What are we going to do? Rename the District of Columbia in Washington State? I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. But the one thing I wanted to talk about tonight is how, Russell Brand is really getting piled on. There are, what, 5, 6 new articles on the New York Post today. Aussie pop singer blasted Russell Brand as vile predator. They've got this clip of where he had Catherine McPhee sit on his lap during the Tonight Show. Kristen Bell warned him. Another article, not to try anything on the set of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Then I think they've got a clip of him where he's joking that he raped somebody and a bunch of other crap. But it's an all-out smear campaign on this guy. Now, was this guy a scumbag in his prior life? Yeah, I mean he was the epitome of a soy boy liberal, but he sort of came around, and you got to respect the fact that he's exposing corruption in the mainstream media. He's exposing corruption in big pharma, in the military-industrial complex, and dude, they're going all out on him right now. This is wild. But what I wanted to say was, like, our stream last night, even the videos we pulled up, got absolutely plagiarized by Mr. Beanie Tim Pool. I mean, is there any bigger grifter on the internet than Tim Pool? Like he has a following, right? He never reads super chats. Never reads super chats. Um, uh, and meanwhile, he goes around and flaunts the fact that you, the viewers, are giving him these donations, 5, 10, 50, $50, $100, and he gives you nothing back for it. Instead, he's living in a mansion in a secluded compound in West Virginia, and all he does is read the news. He literally doesn't go out and generate or do any investigative reporting. He just grabs articles and gives his commentary on them. I mean, it is the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, at least we, like you and I, right? Like, we read the articles and we dissect the corruption. Like, we point out the corruption. Like, we know where it's at. We know where things don't line up. We have like more than a cursory analysis of, this is good for Trump, this is bad for Trump. No, we like point out very specific acts of corruption and how it all links together. But this grifter basically, he even played the same videos we played last night. That's how wild it is. Like, epic grifter, uh, Mr. Beanie Tim Pool.
You've always disliked Tim Pool, Agent X, and I would say that those videos we played last night, to Tim Pool's credit, were all over X or Twitter yesterday. So when I saw that Tim Pool, I don't watch Tim Pool.
No. Dude, those were posted on 4chan, man. He's either stealing straight from us or he's mining stories from 4chan.
It's the level of analysis on Russell Brand stuff is pretty shallow. I mean, anybody could come to those kinds of conclusions. In fact, I was reading a lot of tweets about Russell Brand, those who were supporting him, for example, and they pretty much were kind of saying the same thing. So, I don't know if it's so much Tim Pool stealing Russell Brand stuff. If I have noticed a lot of other people stealing your analysis, Agent X, on stuff that, you know, wasn't out there, and the only content that had that level of analysis was this channel. So, but maybe
Like,
if there's
even
other
the term, even
examples,
some of the terms that we use get clipped, right?
that's true.
Or
That's
get
true.
stolen. I mean, they get
That's true. I
straight
mean,
up
like,
lifted.
what's an example of one of the terms that we kind of pioneered?
Well, grifter, but even the name of the stream, Command HQ, all of a sudden Alex Jones and Tim Pool and these guys were calling their shows like the HQs, whatever. Like they put HQ, like the information HQ or whatever. So they're definitely stealing from us. And I don't care,
Commandos.
man. Imitation is the finest form of flattery. But I just don't like grifters doing it. Dude, I put a link in the chat. I promise it's nothing bad. You'll laugh your ass off at it. Um, it's just what I typically feel.
Is that your objection to Tim Pool?
Dude, that's my objection in general.
I always forget his name.
Dude, I know. Dude, he was very entertaining. You got to admit the dude entertained the hell out of us. What he did was absolutely awful, terrible. But he
No
definitely
denying that.
entertained.
Well, he wasn't actually that. Usually, when these guys take their own cases, they have no idea what they're doing. And even if you're Dershowitz, you should not be representing yourself, because it's just a lot of responsibility.
I agree
There's
with
so
that.
much shit to do. But because there's so much
Daryl
corruption,
Brooks.
he knew that he was going to get convicted anyways. He didn't give a shit. And what he wanted to do is just kind of highlight all of the incompetence. In fact, I felt like he was smarter than the judge in the case, because she was just ready to throw anything at him. And he was at least defending himself and kind of like, weaving and bobbing and weaving his way through this sort of like obstacle course, would be a better way of saying it. And it was not his first rodeo. I mean, he obviously knew the legal system fairly well. But the judge in that case was, speaking of a term that's often used, that was pioneered by you and I, Agent X, low IQ. The judge in that case was so low IQ.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely. I mean, she went to William Mitchell or something. I don't know.
some some Cardinal Stritch or whatever it was, some law school in Wisconsin.
What's interesting is, what he did was awful, but in his sovereign citizen stuff was a joke. That stuff never worked.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not like a lawyer, but he kind of like. And
did know how the criminal justice system can come down on you and basically go, because he did, throughout that trial, he did make, good points, like, why haven't you provided me this? Why haven't you provided me that? A lot of it was his own, where he fired his public defenders at the last minute. But no, dude, if you're involved in a criminal case, you should definitely have counsel. In civil cases,
Daryl Brooks.
In civil cases, I honestly think that this is a failing of the American education system, that every student in high school should be taught civil procedure. They should be able to know how to go into a courthouse and file a small claims court case, or file an answer to a complaint against them, or know the basics of the legal system, right? And nobody does. And why? Because it's a monopoly of these grifter attorneys. They want to keep a stronghold over it. That's why, you can't buy, if you're not a lawyer, you can't buy these treatises. You don't have access to these large case law databases like Lexis, Nexus, and Westlaw. I mean, it's a total monopoly. But you know, I think if you're involved in a civil case, I think you're better off representing yourself because, you know, the only time you're ever going to get anybody to take something on a contingency is a car accident case or some slip and fall. The rest of the time, you're going to have to pony up a 10, 20, even $50,000 retainer for any claim you have, and God forbid you get sued, because then you're definitely going to have to pony up a 10, 20, $50,000 retainer that's going to go by in the blink of an eye. You know, these grifter lawyers charging $500 an hour. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, that's easier said than done because there's a lot of work that goes into litigation, and to some degree, people pay lawyers just to handle and manage that level of work. And, of course, when you get into the technical stuff like researching and figuring out what defenses you have or what claims you have to be somewhat experienced. So, yes and no, but it's really the legal system is an avenue to become bankrupt quickly. If you don't know what you're doing and you do something like that, small claims is one thing, but anything larger than that, I certainly don't think anybody should just go in there willy-nilly. It's mostly just people who have usually both of these conditions. They have nothing left to lose and they have no money to pay lawyers. That's the only sort of condition that people actually go in, file civil cases by themselves and work their ass off and litigate and litigate and litigate. And then you learn your own skills. Remember back in the day, Abraham Lincoln was a self-taught lawyer. He didn't go to law school. He didn't go to a university. And then maybe the advent of these jurisdictions where you kind of had to have, pass the bar in order to get a law license. Maybe that was when the legal system kind of started to go downhill. Because
it became a monopoly.
Yeah, it became like a cabal of people who wanted to protect their own interests.
Dude, I just sent you an image of somebody asking some questions about that F-35 going down.
Yeah,
really interesting.
So, what do you think happened there with potential?
Dude, I told you. I think it's hacked. I think it got hacked.
Yeah, but like how?
Well, I mean, those planes are connected. Well, I mean, there's several ways, right? They could have injected code during some software update, right? Bad code could have hacked into the system, uploaded bad code into system update. It gets updated. They also could have done it remotely, right? A lot of obviously these planes are connected remotely to some ground station. I mean, look at drones. So there is some remote communication with these planes. So maybe it hacked it remotely. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I guess we'll never. We'll probably never. Get the truth.
We'll never get the truth. That's for sure. We already know that. But what if it was just a software bug? What if it wasn't necessarily a hack?
Well, they better fix it, right?
Do you think they would test all this stuff pretty thoroughly, right?
Well, you think, but I mean, look at this last line. Why didn't the wingman give chase until the Noble Eagle flight was able to intercept? So, yeah, I mean, there's a strange level of incompetence here, right?
And you would think if this was hacked, that they would hack it so that the pilot wasn't able to eject. But then again, maybe the entire intent of the hack was to destroy the $100 million plane and allow the pilot to eject so that the plane got destroyed because you can't fly it remotely, something like that. Or, what the other issue here is, aren't these planes, I thought that they could control them as if they were drones, so they could fly them remotely. So something strange went wrong here. And I don't think anyone's ever heard of a plane crashing under these circumstances before. And not to mention, again, they try to distract people's attention by saying that it was lost, remember?
Yep.
Oh, we can't find it. Again, that, they're probably desperate to hide the fact that something was hacked. So let's focus on the next best thing, which is the fact that they've lost this F-35 plane. So people are like, oh, these people are incompetent. They lost the plane. But that's because it's so advanced and it's a stealth fighter.
Dude, I'm sending you an article. Tell me what you think of this headline. Just off the cuff. Just tell me what you think of this headline I sent you.
It's hilarious.
Right? Right?
Oh my
You're not
God.
gonna put it up?
I put it up. What do I think of it off the cuff? I think it's fairly egotistical to say something like that in a public article that's going to be released to thousands of people.
About a people that's been kicked out of every country they've ever been in, and that's coming from me, a Jew.
You said it. Messengers of morality. Well, let me ask you this, Agent X. Is Zelensky a messenger of morality?
Yeah, Zelensky's the biggest. The whole Ukrainian thing. We're dumping. I mean, I'd like to know. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could go back and add it up. How much money we've given Ukraine? It's the biggest money laundering scheme of all time. I mean, there's no doubt about it, right? Like, why are we giving them money when we can't give money to our own citizens to get them off the streets, to get them help, to get them off of fentanyl? Instead, we get them hooked on. We don't want them to have jobs, so that they can go into Suboxone clinics and get free Medicaid or Medicare, I guess Medicaid, Suboxone patches. When there's a disaster like there was in Hawaii, we're not giving the $40 billion to the people who lost their homes and their property. Instead, we're giving it to Ukraine. We don't take care of people here at home, and that's why we are a failing country. There's no doubt about it. One of the other things I wanted to bring up, and I thought it was interesting, somebody brought I think Dana Perino said it on Fox News. So they changed the rules of the Senate to allow, there's no dress code now. You don't have to wear a suit and tie on the floor of the Senate. Have you heard this?
Yeah, it's a Fetterman rule.
It's the Fetterman rule, right? And Dana Perino brought up the fact that the Roman Empire fell when they enacted a similar rule in the Roman Senate that they no longer had to have formal attire, that they could wear togas. I mean, we are witnessing.
Yeah,
we are
remember all those historical images of the Roman Senate? They're wearing togas, aren't they? The whole idea of having a toga party is reminiscent of like the Roman Senate wearing togas.
Yeah.
Like wild and crazy. I mean, college kids can get wild and crazy when they're having a frat party, they're drinking. So, I mean, is it very stable? Is our government going to be run very stable when we have people like Fetterman walking in there in tennis shoes? And as much as I like wearing casual clothes, I'm not a senator. I'm not walking into the Senate. If I have to walk into the Senate, I'm wearing a suit. Even Elon Musk, who I was just thinking about when he testified about AI in the Senate, I think it was last week. He wore a suit. He wore tennis shoes because he had to walk a long way across, a couple of different sort of like lawns or whatever. But, okay, so you wear tennis shoes because you have to walk a long ways, but he's wearing a suit. He's a billionaire. He doesn't have to do that. It's for respect
Well,
for not
hold on,
only the
hold on.
institution of the
You're
Senate,
talking
but the
about
American
you're
people.
talking about a hearing, right? Like a Senate hearing or a House hearing. Like, okay, like yeah, you should wear a suit to those. It's a formal proceeding, but it's not the floor of the Senate, right?
Well, so
That-
isn't it? Doesn't this mean that Fetterman has absolutely no respect for the American people? That he's willing to wear whatever he wants in the Senate? Because this is what it's saying to the American people.
It's fucked up, man. Our country's going to shit.
Yeah, really quickly. All right. Well, I know that you've got a lot of business to do tomorrow. So, anything else before we shut this thing down? By the way, please like the stream and subscribe, as well as on Twitter. I know that we're on X, which is a better place because we get accurate view counts there. So please follow the account there. It's listed here in this little lower third. Command HQ stream. Agent X, I know this was a short stream because we wanted to accommodate your tight schedule, but I think that I was actually thinking about the same thing with the F-35, and I didn't mention it to you before the stream, and you brought it up. So, because I read an NBC News article about it, and they were blaming the fact that it was a stealth aircraft and it was lost, and I was like, "There's no way they lost this thing under these conditions." And the article, you could tell, was so brief and it was so sanitized. And again, that's like another key characteristic of the cover up, especially when it comes to the military or high level federal government.
Yeah, I mean it is a dude.
Yeah, so what do you?
Like
So the other thing here is Russell Brand. A bunch of his comedy dates got canceled today, and his I think I mentioned this yesterday. His agent canceled, quit on him. I think it's gonna. I was seeing his subscriber counts go way up. This might be the best thing that's ever happened to
didn't
him.
hold on. I think that there was somebody, and I'd have to try to dig it up. That said that Russell Brand was
MI6.
MI6. Yeah.
I can probably pull that up. Hold on, if you give me a second. Grab it right now. Like the scroll. Scroll.
Dude, you need to play the video from our sponsor, bro, before we leave.
Oh, here it is.
Do you have the eNASCAR video ready?
Oh shit. Yeah, I do actually. Damn it. It just got done right before we streamed. I didn't think of it. Yeah, it would have been really nice to play today.
Well,
Damn
pull
it.
it down real quick. Pull it down real quick,
Okay.
and I'll vamp.
Okay.
While you
All right.
Yeah. No. Hold on one second.
Let me put your Russell Brand thing up here before I do, and then I'll grab it.
Dude,
Okay,
we're up to 950 subscribers, bro. Yeah, it's really the truth. I think you and I subscribe to this. Is it, ABR, right? Always be recorded. No matter what it is. It's obviously there are some states where there's two-party consent, but if you're in the privacy of your home, dude, there's no reason to not be recorded. And if you think that there's any possibility, it's always a fine line. Like, do you want to put these Alexa devices and these Google Home devices in your house? Nah, man, these things are always listening. I think I read an article a couple months ago where an account got disabled on Amazon because Amazon said that they supposedly heard a racist statement through the Alexa device. So you know these things are always listening. They're always sending data back. That's why you say something and suddenly an ad pops up on your phone or on Gmail. But yeah, you don't want those devices. But you want to be, there's your phone can record for a reason. You always want to be protecting yourself, and this is the reason why. This is a very uh, true thing that now consent can be retracted up to a decade later. I mean, I think that they're going to charge Russell Brand. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, how do they not? After they've gone
Well,
after Weinstein and Danny Masterson, and
didn't they charge Kevin Spacey? This is the
well, they
UK,
tried, but he
and
got the charges dismissed. Like he got the charges dismissed in the U.S., and I think he won a case in the UK a few months ago.
well, so I dug in a little bit more about Russell Brand, and they claim that he had sex with a 16-year-old, and so in the U.S. that might be a little more disgusting, but in the UK the age of consent is 16. So that's not
Right.
illegal. It's a little
But I don't
disgusting,
think
but he was
I
younger
don't think he
then.
was in the UK. I think he was in Los Angeles.
Well, if that was the case, it potentially is illegal. I don't know. I'm not up to speed on the age of consent in California, but um, I mean, you got to be really careful. You have to be always recording. And speaking of recordings, not to compare these two things or conflate them, but so I have your boy's NASCAR video here. You want to play it?
Dude, he's a sponsor of the show, man. We got to
It's
thank the
true.
Wallach firm
That's true.
for sponsoring our Command HQ stream. Let's play the sponsor video. He's Mr. Wallach is a racer on the NASCAR E Series. We just want to thank him for his support on the channel. So let's play his little ad. Dude, it's too big. It's too big. It's too big. It's too big.
Damn it.
You gotta reduce it. Even though his forehead is that big in real life, you gotta reduce that thing, bro. Dude, you gotta even small. Yeah. Okay, now it's good. Now it's good.
Okay.
All right.
Hopefully we can. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Here's the debut of our sponsors video. There's no sound.
Oh, there's no sound.
Can you hear it?
I can't hear it, bro.
Damn it. Hold on. Let me see. Dang it. This is why I don't. When we're doing stuff live, never know if it's gonna work. Where's my sound thing? There it is. I don't. Can anyone out there in the chat? Can you hear that? Oh man, the sound is almost the best part. I don't know.
Go ahead and play it, and I'll see if I can hear it.
Okay. Can't hear it?
Nah, no sound, bro.
Damn it. Alright, well, we'll fix the sound thing.
Oh my god.
We really screwed this up without the sound, but well, we might as well play the whole thing anyways without the sound.
Yeah, dude, he sponsored. You better play the whole thing.
If I load it into our browser, I think we'll be able to hear the sound. Hold on. Let me just log into my Dropbox here and load it up.
Yeah, dude, there it is.
Let me.
Dude, sorry, we'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll play it. We'll play it tomorrow or whenever this week. That's why I hate pulling videos up, and I haven't tested the audio and stuff on these things. All right. Well, got to see the Wallach video, even if it had no
dude,
sound.
I gotta go to bed. Oh shit, it's 1 o'clock, dude. I gotta go to bed.
Okay. Please like the video and follow on X, as well as on YouTube, and we will see you this week. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for watching Command HQ with Brock and Agent X. We'll see you next time.